What's happening, Toga Peeps? Tuperius coming at you today with a Pokemon shirt on, which means we're talking serious business about Pokemon. I don't know if any of you, or I'm sure most of you are aware because this is big news, but Garchomp is back on the suspect ladder on Pokemon Not Online Showdown, I think, for Smogon, which is huge. But it's nice that it's going to get some suspect playtesting again, because as far as I'm concerned, I always get I never get a text message until I try and do something. Yeah, Garchomp never got playtested enough, in my opinion, when Black White came out. I think everyone had nightmares of what Garchomp was in 4th gen. And they were just like, get it out. Because I don't know how many of you remember the Garchomp of 4th gen competitive battling. Back when I first started competitive battling, like really hardcore first started, was back when I first started making videos on YouTube on my old account, and Garchomp was running rampant. I mean, your entire team was Garchomp, and then 3 things to slowly take down Garchomp after that. 1 thing to set up Sandstream, so you could have Sanville Garchomp running, and then something else. Because at that point it was just, Garchomp ruined everything. And I can't believe it honestly took him as long as it did to ban Garchomp in 4th gen. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about it now. And I'm going to give a few thoughts, ideas, just weigh in on how everybody's talking about, Garchomp, Sanville, not as great as everybody thinks it is. And, okay. So, the thing I'm hearing the most and reading about the most on Smogon is how Sanville is ruining the game because it boosts your evasion, it takes the skill out of the... I hate it when people say that about things with hacks. Well, when you rely on hacks, you're taking the skill out of the game. No, you're just playing risky. That's like playing roulette at a casino. If you want to play the odds and have the best skill strategy at your most likely chance to save money, you're going to play on one of the multi-block lines that's going to give you the most chance of winning your money back. You're not just going to put down a chip on 13 or on 7 or on 35. Because, I mean, the highest odds, if it works for you, the most payout, but the least likely that you're going to win. And that's similar to my views on playing with hacks. When hacks works in your favor, oh my god, huge payouts. My boner goes through the roof. It's so awesome. But it doesn't always happen that way because you're relying on something that is least likely to happen. So it ruins the game? Not really. Does it make it less skillful? No. I mean, in my opinion, no. And you're more than welcome to weigh on that in the comment section, because I'm sure a lot of you feel that hacks ruins the game. And if you feel that way, I apologize. It's a part of the game. So, I mean, the hacks ruins the game thing is an old argument. And as far as I'm concerned, Sanville hacks, what's a Sanville? I mean, 20% evasion boost, something like that? So it makes 100% accuracy move, 80%, I don't know. I mean, it's like the difference from going from T-Bolt to Fire Blast, almost. Not exactly, don't get in my shit about that. I mean, but minus a little bit of power. Kind of thing. Well, I guess Flamethrower to Fire Blast would have been a better example. But, I mean... I don't get the fact that Sanville will ruin the game because it's a hacks reliant thing. I mean, it just doesn't work in my head, because hacks is a part of the game. So taking advantage of that, I mean, less skillful, whatever. You can call it whatever you want. It's called using your assets. Moving beyond that. Okay, so Sanville ruins a game, yada yada yada. I mean, all you do is sub down until you get your Sanville hacks, you set up a sword stance, and then you run Buckshot with Outrage and Earthquake. The only problem with that set, I mean, that I can ultimately see, is phasers. For those of you who aren't familiar with game terms, is something that would have like Roar or not Will-O-Wisp, Whirlwind, Dragon Tail, things like that. And Dragon Tail did not exist in 4th gen, which is, I mean, a new factor, a small factor, but a new one, when considering Garchomp's viability. And, things like that. Taunt not being as good as it used to kind of sucks. I'm getting off topic. So what are some of the other things? People were, the way that people are talking about the way to get Garchomp back into OU, but not having Sanville available to it. I'm not sure if everyone knows, Rough Skin is its Dream World ability, which it got in 5th gen, which I mean is a meh ability compared to Sanville, because Sanville was awesome. That is why it was Uber, because it was good. And I don't know how many people are forgetting Garchomp, but Garchomp just used to say, hey, guess what? Bend over, you're taking it. Bam! You could hit it with an ice move and it would do less than half. Guess what? Bend over the table. Bam! You're taking it. I mean, I did more destruction with Garchomp in the time that I had it than I did with the Sanville Hacks Chomp. Because you aren't reliant on, I mean, again, playing the odds with hacks, you aren't reliant on the fact that your opponent is eventually going to miss a turn and you can set up a sword stance. You are saying, hey, I've got Yachi Berry, I'm gonna let someone switch in, set up a sword stance, give my, I think Garchomp has access to Fire Fang if I remember right, and guess what? The flying steel thing. Skarmory, not as much of an issue anymore after a sword stance. A lot of your stuff that you're going to be hitting for neutral damage, like, well, I guess Fortress isn't as big as it used to be, but in 4th gen, Fortress was a problem with Garchomp if it was super bulky in the defense because you could only do neutral damage with Earthquake. But now you have Fire Fang, which does, and now with Nature or Neutery or Giggity Gooey, you have Fire Fang, which can jack that thing up. And yeah, I just enjoyed Garchomp even more than I enjoyed the sub sword stance set. And I guess you could use both. I don't remember exactly what the set was, because Garchomp was the only one I really ran. But I could see Garchomp still being really good. Garchomp with Rough Skin. I just don't know that it's going to last, even if it just gets in with Rough Skin. I mean, granted, the Sanville ability is what pushed it to Uber. It is. Anyone who argues that's a moron. But Garchomp, I mean, slowly behind that, because Garchomp would just destruction in its wake. Yeah. Oh, people talking about banning Sanville. Oh my god. Or banning Sanville and Sandstream combo. And people are like, well, they did it with Swift Swim and Drizzle. Well, people don't understand how much better of a weather, in general, Drizzle Rain is compared to Sandstream, Sandstorm stuff. People are just, oh, well, it's not as good. Yes, it is. Drizzle, bar none, Rain is the best and easiest to abuse, most beneficial to a team weather you can have. There's not an argument. It just is. It does too much for your team, for too many different Pokemon. And we're going to explain why Drizzle, Swift Swim, is a much more logical banning in OU than Sanville and Sandstream thing. And this is probably the most important, the number of Pokemon who have Swift Swim as opposed to the number of Pokemon who have Sanville. I mean, I believe the list of Swift Swim Pokemon is like 3 times as long. So, I mean, much easier to abuse. Not only that, but it boosts, I mean, almost every Pokemon that gets it. Let me check real quick. I'm on the page. Water. Every single Pokemon. Wait, check the Dream World. Water. Oh, Armaldo and Anorith get Swift Swim. And Arctic. Every other Pokemon besides those 3 that gets Swift Swim get the Water Boost Stab bonus. There's 2 huge bonuses right there, and 2 things that Sanville doesn't have. Sanville with the Sandstorm does not, I mean, Gliscor, I mean, it doesn't boost their attacks at all, and it doesn't boost Gliscor or Garchomp's special defense like it does with the rock types. And let's go over to Sanville, really small list. Ground, Dragon, ground. Cacturn. Geodude and Golem are actually the only, and Larvitar, are the only 2 Pokemon with the Sanville ability, 3 Pokemon with the Sanville ability that get the special defense boost. But if you have it on Larvitar, then what's going to be the point of Sandstream on? Anyways, we're getting off topic again. Much more beneficial. Plus the majority, and the 20% evasion boost, I think, pales in comparison to the doubling of speed. The doubling of speed. That is 2 agilities. 2. That's 2 choice scarves. 2. Doubling of the speed. Not just, they might miss a move. It is likely 1 in 5 attacks will miss now, because your 20% evasion went up. As opposed to, you outspeed everything in the metagame, kind of thing. But, I mean, that's my opinion, and that is debatable to a point. So if you would like to debate the fact over Swift Swims being, in general, more beneficial than Sanville, knock yourself out. I will not argue, because I can see both sides of the argument. I just believe that Swift Swim is more beneficial in general. But since it's already been banned, you know. So back to Sanville. People are saying, oh, ban Sanville. I mean, there's only 2 Pokemon with it in OU anyways. Well, I mean, if you're counting Garchomp and Gliscor, you're right. Kind of. Well, I guess Dugtrio gets it, but its other abilities generally much better. And Dugtrio is a glass cannon, if you even want to call it that. But so Dugtrio gets it, Garchomp gets it, and Gliscor gets it. Garchomp being the suspect in OU at the moment. But, I mean, it's really not going to affect Gliscor that much if it goes, because, I mean, Poison Heal is just all over the freaking place now. I still use Sanville Gliscor on my Sandstorm teams when I use one, which is rare, but I like leftovers on it better than I like Toxic Orb. I mean, potato, whatever you like the best for that. But, yeah, I just don't see it happening. I think that is probably too complex of a ban, with the least benefit coming from it. I mean, Swift Swim, Drizzle being banned was a no-brainer when it happened, and I can't believe it took them as long as it did. Because, I mean, the list of Pokemon that could just automatically jump to OU because they get Swift Swim Drizzle combo is just wiener through the roof. I mean, the highest Pokemon in the tier listing since it is banned that gets Swift Swim is Kingdra, and that's UU. But I mean, if Kingdra had Swift Swim, I mean, even with its mediocre stats, it would have, I mean, granted, if you double its speed, it would have 170 base speed. 170 with Swift Swim activated. That's a lot. Not to mention Water and Dragon is really good freaking typing. Oof. But I mean, that would also bring up a bunch of other stuff that would just wreck. Most notably on the top of my head is Ludicolo. Ludicolo would be, ugh, it would be disgusting if that was allowed to run that set. But yeah, it isn't because it was banned. But Sanville being banned in general, or Sanville, I think it's more likely Sanville will be banned in general than Sanville and Sandstream being banned. But Sanville in itself isn't that great to where they're going to say, oh yeah, we're going to ban Sanville so we can bring Garchomp back to OU. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Sanville is not broken. Sanville and Sandstream is not broken. Stop making these arguments that, oh, we're going to ban Sanville and Sandstream so we can have Rough Skin Garchomp. Well, if they were going to do that, why the hell wouldn't they have started on the right foot with Blaziken and banned Speed Boost Blaziken? Because Blaziken has been proven over and over again that is not Uber. But Blaziken is banned in general. People are, oh, well, it's different because it deals with evasion. No, it's not. We're talking about the difference of an ability. No matter what the ability is, it makes the Pokemon broken and Uber. So, unless you want to go into a complex ban and do all that stupid shit. Well, Speed Boost Blaziken, it was easy to tell. We would know if they were cheating. Well, guess what? You aren't going to be able to tell unless Sanville activates on your Garchomp. So shut the fuck up with that argument, okay? Please, stop. They're not just going to ban Sanville because of Garchomp. The metagame is fine without Garchomp running around. I would love to see Garchomp come to OU to be tested, which it is. I applaud Smogan for going back and reevaluating that decision. But I don't think it's going to stay. I don't. It's not. It's just not. If they do some stupid, retarded, complex ban thing, where they're like, well, Sanville Garchomp's banned, but not Roughskin's Garchomp, blah, 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 then they have to go back and do the same thing for Blaziken. They will. And I don't think they want to jump back on that decision. I really don't. I mean, the council of intelligent people who make all these decisions but never post. It's just, bleh. And I just don't know. I just don't know. I mean, leave your comments down below about what you think about this, but I honestly don't think Garchomp is going to come back to OU. I just don't. And if it does, it's not going to last. It's not. Garchomp is just really, really, really freaking good. And, I mean, it just is. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I've explained why I think it's Uber. I mean, if there's anything I missed as to why you guys think it should be Uber or should remain Uber after suspect testing, leave it in the comments below. If there's anything that I missed that you think Garchomp shouldn't be Uber and why, I mean, we could have go through the whole checks and counters thing, all the stuff that didn't exist in 4th Gen that exists now, but I honestly don't think that makes a strong enough case to pull it down from Ubers. Yes, we didn't have the Therian forms, or whatever the hell they're called, the new Genie forms in Black White 2. We didn't have any of that crap. We didn't have Dragon Tail. We didn't have all these other things. But Garchomp, in spite of all that new crap, is really, really freaking good. It is. I mean, oh, all these new Shadow Tag Pokemon are coming around. Whoop-dee-doo. I mean, all it's going to do is take a slight adjustment to Garchomp's standard set to just screw everything you just mentioned. It really is. But I mean, the Therian forms, I think, all outrun it. But, okay. If they come in with a sub-up, what's the difference? You know? I don't know. It just drives me crazy. And, I mean, yeah. Like I said, let me know what you think. This has been Tuperius, speaking on Garchomp. Catch you on the flip side. Peace out.